The most important earnings report in stock market history happens at closing bell today when the second largest company in the world and by far the fastest growing market cap company in the world, Nvidia, reports. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the numbers from their past reports compared to the consensus forecast going into those reports, and then we'll do a little statistical analysis looking at the forecast for this report and what we could expect. Not only that, we'll also cover my earnings strategy and how I'm going to be trading this report. I know a lot of the retail sentiment around Nvidia right now is that, it's an overpriced bubble that's due to pop. Well, here's an actual headline from Yahoo Finance from just a little over a month ago that states Nvidia's market cap will soar to $50 trillion. That would be over 15x where it's currently trading at today. Now, you should take any of these articles with a grain of salt, but just know there are still people out there with huge eyes for this ticker. So let's talk numbers. According to Earnings Whisper, the consensus EPS or earnings per share for today's report is 65 cents, and the consensus revenue for this quarter is $28.25 billion. In remembering those two consensus numbers, I want to show you the two quarter-over-quarter charts of Nvidia for those numbers. We'll start with the EPS chart. Obviously, Nvidia's last 4 quarters have been where it is really taken off. So let's look at those, and this is the quarterly number chart here in the middle. From 25 cents earned per share to 37. This is from this report this time last year, July 31st, 2023, into the October report. That is a change of 12 cents. Then from 37 to 49, once again, a change of 12 cents. Then from 49 EPS to 60 EPS on Nvidia's last report, being a change of 11 cents. Now, what was our consensus number? Our consensus number is 65 cents a share. So we said 12, 12, and 11 were the changes of the previous 4 quarters where Nvidia really kind of started blowing up in this AI wave, right? And now they're only predicting a 5-cent change. That is the consensus being baked into the valuation of this stock. And then if we do the same thing, I'll click over now to Nvidia's revenue chart and look at the same kind of numbers. From this report this time last year, $13.5 billion jumps up to $18.1 billion. Call that a change of just a little over 3.5. That is a change, like I said, of a little over 4.5 billion. Let's see your quick math here, Trey. 4.5 billion change up. And then this goes from 18.1 to 22.1. That's another 4 billion change up from 22.1 to 26.04. Just shy, once again, of another $4 billion change up. What was the consensus for this report? 28.25. So they are now expecting a jump from 26 to 28.25, only $2.25 billion change. Whereas, as we just looked, the last 4 reports have had a change of $4 billion or better each time. Let's also take a look specifically at the numbers versus the consensus forecast from the Q2 report last year. It's important to compare the same quarter reports because sometimes, sectors can be cyclical. Certain sectors, certain quarters are going to grow faster. All your retail is going to have a much stronger Q4 than any other quarter because of Christmas shopping. Those kind of things, right? So if we look at the report from this time last year, August 23rd, 2023, Nvidia had a $13.5 billion revenue, which we already talked about, versus $11 billion expected. They came in $2.5 billion more than expected. This is adjusted EPS, not the actual EPS like we were looking at, but still came in at $2.70 versus $2 0.07. I mean, it's 63 cents more than what was expected on their EPS. They absolutely destroyed the consensus forecast this time last year. But if we take a look at how the ticker reacted to that earnings destruction, that would be this report here, August 23rd, 2023. Yes, there was a small jump up. The night before, the ticker closed at $47.12. The next day, the ticker opened at $50.22. That is something like a gain of 7-8% overnight, although it then sold it all right off the next day and kind of chopped down for a little bit until the next couple of earnings reports. And I just want to talk about why that happened. They dominated, destroyed the consensus forecast. Why would the stock not fly? Well, look at where the stock was at the close of the previous quarter. The stock was less than $30 at the close of the previous quarter. Coming into this earnings, it was up nearly 50% already. That means from the last quarter, the market had priced in that 50% growth and expectations and expected valuations into this company. And even though they might crush the consensus forecast, there is also a market forecast, which in this case here from quarter to quarter, once again, even though they crushed the consensus forecast, seemingly they did not crush, or they at least fell in line with the market forecast of the insane 50% jump from the quarter before. And if we look at that same sort of statistic going into this earnings, if we draw a percent change from where the previous earnings report closed to where the stock is trading today, it is up roughly 35%. The market has priced in 35% gain into this quarter, right? Now, if we go back and compare previous quarter to previous quarter before this, there was also a 40% gain, and the stock still flew on those earnings. So it's not impossible, if there is a large change in the chart like this, that the stock still performs so damn well on earnings that it still goes up. But it's important to note this: whenever you're looking at earnings, go ahead and take a look back at the last quarter, see where the price has changed. That's going to give you an idea of what the market is pricing in for what the market thinks is possible in this earnings quarters report. So it seems like analysts are a little soft on their consensus. It seems like Nvidia, if it just keeps up even the same period of growth that it's been having over the last year, should once again dominate the consensus forecast. But the stock is up 35% from last quarter. So is the stock going to go up or down on earnings? Heads, it goes up. Tails, it goes down. Tails it is. Looks like the stock's going down on earnings, fellas. Look, guess what? Nobody knows what the damn stock is going to do. Earnings are always a coin flip. It's just how it is. Unfortunately, it's never this easy to do this amount of research and know what a stock is going to do on earnings. If you could figure out some way to do that, I'm sure somebody somewhere has a financial Nobel Peace Prize for you. But what we can do is we can still trade the earnings based off of a reaction of the initial move. That is how I have built my earnings strategy that I'm showing you I traded here on the last earnings report of Nvidia. So I'm looking at the 5-minute chart, and whether the first 5-minute bar after earnings is announced is green or red, that decides whether I long or if I short. If I long the stock, I will sell the first candle to close under the close of the previous candle if I am down. You'll notice here, last earnings, Nvidia got a huge initial reaction, which gave me a pretty bad entrance and then dipped really hard. But none of these candles closed under the previous candle. It's got like a really nice grind up here, so I never sold. If I am in the green on the trade, I will sell if the close closes below the lowest point of the last 5 candles. So instead of selling here, instead of selling the first candle to close under candle, if I'm green, I wait for it to close first candle under the lowest point of the last 5 candles, which I got stopped out here. If I go back even to the earnings prior, I can show you this trade as well, just for another example. Here we go. This one ended up working out really nicely. Initial reaction was a green candle. We got long. Guess what? Third reason to exit, if it hits 8 o'clock at night. Market, after hours market trading closes at 8 o'clock on Thinkorswim. Obviously, I won't hold it overnight. I'll just exit there if I never hit any of my other sell conditions, which is what happened on the last earnings report. So Nvidia has been really nice to me the last 2 earnings reports. I'm going to trade this strategy again tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. If you're interested in downloading that strategy, visit the link in the description of this video down below. I have over 55 different custom coded scans, strategies, and indicators for Thinkorswim on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. Go sign up today if you're interested, and good luck trading Nvidia this afternoon.